Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. What a cool day this has been.
It's the best day.
It is. Talk to our great friends at the San Diego Food Bank, and now with the Helen Woodward Animal Center. We've got Jessica Gerke. Am I pronouncing that right?
Gurk.
Gurk, thank you very much.
That's okay. Everybody says Gurk.
No, I want to make sure we got that right over here. Joined, she's the PR director, joined by her colleague, Barry Siegel, corporate sponsorship officer. Jessica and Barry, how you doing?
Doing great. I've got a puppy in my arms.
I know you do. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She's the executive director, San Diego Writers, Inc., now in their 20th anniversary year. They got a whole bunch of celebrations going on in 2024. And I think now that you've brought this puppy in, that will be part of the celebration as well. What do you think?
We're going to need lots of puppies for our office. Can you comply?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll be by every week.
Okay, great.
So Jessica's
Writers need puppies. I mean, it's not the worst idea I've ever had.
That's right. So it's sort of to sit there, and our listeners are going to have to, well, they'll see the pictures of it anyway. Talk about the puppy you have in your hand that is absolutely
That is so well
irresistible.
behaved also.
This is Hogan. And Hogan is they say he's an Australian cattle dog, maybe blue heeler. He's 10 weeks old, male. He's been, neutered, up to date on all his vaccinations, microchipped, and he's ready for a home. But he came with several siblings from Oklahoma, and just one of the many animals that come through the doors of Helen Woodward Animal Center. And we're so lucky to get to find a forever home for this guy. Maybe here, maybe with one of you guys.
Yeah. No, we got, I've got my 11-month-old Jackson, a golden, and as you know, they grow like about exponentially every 5 seconds.
I had my own giant golden myself.
I know. Well, I was Barry's got a dog that I think they're twins with Jackson, and yours is 2 years old. Is that right, Barry?
2 years old.
2 years
half golden, half yellow lab, and
very cute.
Everything you could want in a dog.
They are the best. They'll lick you to death and do everything in between. Do you have a question for Jessica and Barry?
Well, I just had to say Jessica has my dream dog. So can you say about your animal?
Yeah, these dogs came in from a hoarding situation. And, it's unbelievable because I don't really know what it is. When these dogs come into the doors of Helen Woodward Animal Center, we don't know where they came from. They don't have papers. So it's always a guess. We did know that this one came from a hoarding situation, just a little baby puppy, but already huge. And within a matter of months, she's not even a year old. She's this giant. We think she's probably a sheepadoodle.
Yeah.
There's some poodle in there probably. She looks like a sheepdog. You were saying she looks like Nana from Peter Pan. Yep. She's just gotten bigger and bigger and so sweet. So lovely to get to rescue a dog like that, but also kind of a magical dog. And one of the things I love about dogs like that is it does remind people they don't have to get, these kind of designer dogs from breeders. Like you can find them in shelters. You just have to look, and you have to spend your time finding the perfect dog for you.
Absolutely. And that's a good place to riff too. So maybe one of you can take us through the mission of your organization.
Sure. Well, I'll go ahead and start. I don't mean to jump all over Barry, but Helen Woodward Animal Center started in 1972. The mission is people helping animals, animals helping people. And really, a lot of people think of it as an adoption-focused organization, which is one of our primary focuses. But we have over 14 unique programs, all dedicated towards that mission. Everything from therapeutic horseback riding and pet encounter therapy and our Animals program and Club Pet. And I could literally talk to you guys for hours about all the things that we do.
By the way, I'm not sure if Barry told you, this is a 4-hour interview.
Good. So,
we're happy to be here. You can discuss each of those at length. So congratulations.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll go really fast. You've been with the organization for 12 years, correct?
I have indeed.
Yeah. How about you, Barry?
2.5.
2.5. Very good. And I think what is so cool about this, we have Gary Weissman is always on our show from San Diego Humane Society. Can't have him on enough. And now you folks are starting a trend. We'll get you guys on quite a bit. We really can't talk enough about something that is near and dear to your hearts. It's in your DNA, and that is the human-animal bond. Talk about that, Jessica.
Barry and I have talked about this, and it sounds like you guys are in our camp. I mean, I feel honestly like they are angels on earth. These little animals. It's like a little trick that was played on all of us, and that when we treat them kindly, the love that they give back in return is unbelievable. So in the world of rescue, I think it's pretty incredible because we are doing so much. We are pulling them out of really challenging situations. Over 95% of our animals come from high kill areas in the United States. Wow. So these animals seem to really understand when they take that trip on the transport, wherever scary shelter they've come out of, and then they get the loving hands of our vet techs as well as our foster families, and then end up in a loving home. I mean, these animals are going to change your life because they know they've been rescued and they want to give love back.
And what I'd like to add is, having worked out there in the corporate world and all the different places and doing jobs where you're working on something that's important, but when you are involved with something like Helen Woodward Animal Center, at least for me, it has turned me into somebody who has synced up the passion that I have as a person with the passion that I have for doing this kind of good work. So it really just, I can't really be without a dog in my life. If I don't have a dog in my life, I'm not the same person.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people like you. Jessica, maybe you can speak to how volunteers help contribute to your mission.
Oh, it's huge. We have thousands of volunteers, and we're always looking for more. Our foster families are a really key part of that, too. But there's 1,000 different things you can do as far as volunteering. I mean, everything from being a part of our incredible events, things like Surf Dog, being out in the in the water with these animals, or fostering and bringing them into your home. And with our fosters, we provide everything to our fosters, and the fosters just have to provide a loving heart because we're going to give you the food, the supplies, everything. And if you only have a night or if you have a full week, we're going to find a place for you. But like I said, I mean, people are out there walking dogs every day, feeding dogs, turning up at our events. So many different ways you can participate, and it really does keep us saving lives. It gets us focused on saving lives when we have the volunteering.
Yeah, and I can add that.
Please.
What a pleasure it is for me to go out into the community, the corporate community, and see that I'm asked if a company can bring 30 people over to the center to do volunteer work constantly. And so we have programs if companies want to be able to just say, let's have a day where we come over and do some good for the animals in the center. The good news for those people is it always ends up in a puppy cuddle. And a puppy cuddle is usually the highlight of the afternoon.
I'm bringing some riders.
Yeah. Well, listen, we all know this, that the world is sort of devoid of empathy these days, and we need to bring that back in, to say the least. There's nothing better than that human-animal bond to do that for 75,000 different reasons. Obviously, it's great for the animals to say what you folks are doing for them, and then the families that are with it. And I think what is so important is that for those people who have never been exposed to having an animal, whether it's a dog or a cat or a minor bird, I was fortunate. I grew up in a family that loved. My mom raised 7 huskies in Canada.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I had cricket farms. We had a snake. We had guinea pigs. We had bunny rabbits, tortoises, dogs. You pick a topic, and so I read something. Those folks who have been grown up with animals, they have a certain different empathy about how to treat humans and all this aspect. We're chatting with Jessica Girk. She is the PR director for the Helen Woodward Animal Center, joined by her colleague Barry Siegel, corporate sponsorship officer. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, who's done just phenomenal things for folks in our county for more than 6 decades, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Riders, Inc., now celebrating their 20th anniversary. Talk about your dog, Kristen.
Which one?
How many do you have?
We have 2 dogs. We have Capitan, who my husband got in Ecuador when he was in the Peace Corps out there. So he's, he's a golden, probably with some other, like a setter or something like that. He's a 100-pound beast. And then we have the poodle, who I'm warming up to. He's about 2 years old. So he's a poodle, some sort of shepherd type mix.
Yeah.
But I had the best dog, Kismet, for 13 years, and so it's a high bar, but we're overcoming. We're getting there.
Yeah. Well, listen. So Hogan was named by whom, Jessica?
It's usually our adoptions department. These are the H puppies, so they usually will go through the letters of the alphabet. I'm trying to think of some of the names of the other ones. Do you remember?
No.
But they were all H names. I can tell you they're all H
names.
names. Yes. So, yeah.
Drew, I wanted to add to something you
Please.
were mentioning earlier, which was the importance of teaching empathy to our kids, I guess.
That's right. And
society.
Adults, for that matter.
So we are in the process now, and it doesn't look pretty right now, but it will, of putting up what is, a huge new humane education village, it's called.
Wow.
It's going to have state-of-the-art classrooms. It's going to have, birthday party rooms. It's going to have playgrounds and all these things.
Yeah, and if I could also speak to that, when Helen Woodward started Helen Woodward Animal Center, she started 2 programs. She started adoptions and she started humane education. And she really felt that at the end of the day, it was the kids that were going to end up changing the world for animals. And it's exactly what you were saying. If you have an adult and they don't really like animals, it's going to be hard to change their mind. They think they're messy. They don't want them in the house. Kids, when they grow up, they have these open hearts. And if you literally, I love that you said you had a cricket farm, because we have Madagascar hissing cockroaches at our humane education.
No, thank. Okay, no.
Listen, they're named Bubbles and Fluffy.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's move on.
We have over 85 species, everything from giant Flemish rabbits, and we've got cockatoos. We've got goats. We've got mini horses. All these wonderful animals, and the message is constantly to the kids: every single living being has a beautiful purpose, and they're making this world what it is.
100%.
So we need to learn to respect and understand. And so now at this time, we have 13,000 kids come through our program every single year.
Wow.
And that's been, it obviously wasn't 13,000 in 1972, but if you think about the number of children that have come through Helen Woodward Animal Center and how many more animal lovers there are in the world because of it.
I wanted to give you guys a shout too. Apologies for trouncing all over you, Drew, but I was looking at your summer camp programs. I have a 5-year-old, and they're really robust, and they're themed by week, and you get to see different animals, different weeks, and I think there's some like art and things like that.
Absolutely.
And it just looked amazing.
Yeah. Oh, they're incredible. critter campers are, we see them running around all the time. They know the names of all the animals, and the hands-on animal encounters is really the big thing about it. But yes, there's crafts and art and games, and these kids just love it. They come back year after year, and then we even see that they come back and they become junior counselors, and then a lot of them go on to vet school. We have some that have said, I was a critter camper, and now I'm going on to veterinary school. So the way that fosters that love in kids is pretty amazing.
That's so awesome.
So what's the Pets Without Walls program?
Oh gosh, I love Pets Without Walls so much. This is my favorite program that we do, and we actually go out on a weekly or biweekly basis to a number of different organizations like Father Joe's and Interfaith, and we basically are out there providing health care. We do a cozy critter visit for the pets of the individuals in our county that are dealing with homelessness. And the thing about this program, I've had so many people say, well, I don't know if they should have animals. Well, the truth is a lot of these animals have been with these people since before they were homeless. They also are the reason these people wake up in the morning. And the other interesting thing about it is these people are with these animals 24/7. So these people are incredibly bonded to their pets, and the pets are incredibly bonded to them. And pulling these pets away from them, putting them into a shelter is not going to be good for either one of them. Mm-hmm. So we are out there providing health care. We're providing little pet blankets and booties and all sorts of wonderful things to keep their pets healthy and happy. And you see the joy in these people's faces, and you see the joy on these animals' faces And one more thing, I just want to say these animals are so well taken care of. And a lot of times when these people arrive, they have the papers from the last vet visit. They want everybody to know exactly what vaccines they've had. There's a lot of love between those animals and those people.
Yeah, there's no question about it. When we come back from break, we're going to talk more about that aspect. We mentioned about adoptions. As Dr. Gary Weitzman and I talk about it all the time, and they are significantly down. That's the understatement of the world. And we always save time in the second half of our program. Jessica and Barry, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? And so think about that when we return with our friends from the Helen Woodward Animal Center, Jessica Girk, PR Director, joined by her colleague, Barry Siegel, Corporate Sponsorship Officer for the organization. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. And that little noise you hear in the background is this beautiful Australian cattle dog, Hogan. How old's Hogan?
Hogan is 10 weeks.
Hogan is 10 weeks, and it is the cutest puppy next to Jackson, and next to Barry's, and next to Jessica's, and next to Kristen's, and everybody else who's in the room here. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, staring at Hogan, the Australian cattle dog puppy brought to us by our friends from the Helen Woodward Animal Center, Jessica Girk, PR Director, and Barry Siegel, Corporate Sponsorship Officers. We listened to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things for folks in San Diego, like bringing very cool guests into the studio and puppies and all that business with it. We were talking right before break, Jessica, about how adoptions are just absolutely phenomenally down, exponentially down, and we know our shelters are just teeming with animals. Talk about that.
Absolutely. So, San Diego is very lucky because we're in No-Kill County. The problem is, I feel like it's kind of like we're holding our hands over our eyes because across the country, adoptions are down so low that, in fact, euthanasia numbers are up 34%, which is so upsetting. In the time that I've been working with Helen Woodward, I haven't seen that. And I think it has something to do with the economy, the kind of unsettled political climate, and I also think it might have something to do with the fact that there are so few veterinarians right now. And so healthcare costs are going up. We are desperate to get people to adopt because if we can pull, like I said, Helen Woodward pulls our animals from shelters across the country. But if our kennels are full, if our foster families are full and nobody's adopting, it's very hard for us to pull these animals and get them out of that area. So we're begging people when they're thinking about getting an animal to go to a shelter and please adopt.
I mean, is there blowback from COVID also? Everyone just adopting in mass quantities, and now they're like, oh, well, no, or they're going back to work or whatever,
We wondered that. I will say that I felt that during COVID, because people were home, these animals were probably better trained and probably had better adapted then maybe, when you're working every single day, you bring a puppy in and it doesn't have a normal schedule, or it's not it's harder to train them. So I don't know if that was necessarily it. I do think I have a friend that just adopted a cat recently, wanted to get it a friend, and said, I can't afford it. And, when you're looking at the price of milk going up and you're looking at some expenses right now, it is harder for people to kind of think about bringing an extra mouth to feed.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is completely, but I do think we really need to get the message out there, because I think it's not enough people realize what's happening across the country, and we want to make sure we can save these lives.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, that's an interesting toy.
It's a lamb chop.
Oh, no. My daughter, when she was a baby, had lamb chock. Lamb chock. CHOCK. Couldn't pronounce it right. Right. And then somehow
It's a good marketing idea.
That's
Yeah.
right. Right, exactly. And then lamb chock made it to the puppy dog, and then that was it for lamb chock. We had to buy another one on this, in this aspect of it. So when we talked about adoptions, we talked about something near and dear to my heart, having spent time in the San Diego Unified School District, and now all the programs that I pretty much focus on as a board member are all education related in this aspect of it. And, background as a curriculum developer, you could literally teach the entire curriculum with animal welfare. You can talk about history, language, arts, social studies, physics, science, chemistry, you name it, just by what you guys are doing. So you're going to have this, is it going to be called the Humane Education Center? What's it going to be called?
Village.
Thank you. Okay.
And I love your idea. And I will say, too, that we have a number of programs that can go into classrooms, either as field trips, and they do teach on the STEM. I know STEM is a big thing right now in the curriculum. So I do want to say we can tailor it however you'd like.
Yeah. See, but to me, it's, that's what I love about VAPA, Visible Performing Arts. You can teach all this. Heaven forbid we're teaching the kids something they like to do, like hold a puppy.
Yeah.
Hold a minor bird, give some crickets over to Kristen and some, By the way, next time you're in here, I'm going to have a cricket farm ready for you.
No. It's the cockroaches. You can do crickets for day. I can't even say.
Okay, right. Anyway, they're animals. Okay, they're animals, and we got to love those animals on this. I'll start with you on this, Barry, and then go over to you, Jessica. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
Oh, so many things. Well, first of all, we haven't even mentioned fostering. So
she did.
I did.
Oh, okay. Well, Jessica did.
Barry doesn't listen to me very much.
That's right. Yeah, that person sitting next to you, right? Exactly.
But it's important, and it's worth saying.
How about I rewind? That I want to reemphasize that fostering these animals between the time they arrive and the time they come back to be taken to their forever homes, that's real important. So people can do that. There's a lot of people that say, well, I failed at being a foster, and what happens? They end up with a dog. They can go to Cahoots pet store locations.
Yep.
And they can drop off food, and we go around and we pick up the food from the barrels and take it to our Animals program, and the Animals program is getting the food out to people that can't afford it, can't get out to get it. So that's very important. We also have a pretty robust pet therapy program going on, which I would love to see more support for, actually, because it's really taking pets to schools and taking pets to hospitals and taking pets to senior centers.
So important.
All those things. So support for programs like that, that's all very important.
Yeah, and how do they get a hold of you folks, Jessica?
Animalcenter.org is the easiest way, and you're going to find all sorts of information on there. The other thing I do want to mention is I would love everybody to have animals, and I would love everybody to bring animals into their home. But there was a time in my life where my work schedule, my apartment I couldn't do that, but I still loved them. And I will say we've got a lot of businesses at Helen Woodward, including our Orphaned Objects resale store, which is amazing. And everything that is donated there is from Rancho Santa Fe. So you see beautiful designer clothes and furniture, all at great prices. And that actually goes towards our saving the lives of these orphan pets. And then if you do have pets already, with our companion animal hospital, as well as our club pet facility, those are all profiting the center. They're all going towards Helen Woodward Animal Center and saving lives. So when you come and you go to those businesses, you know that you're going to also be saving lives.
Yeah. So what I'd love to do is have you folks on regular, a minimum once a quarter, if not more.
Love that.
Well, we could have you on every single day and have a different topic to talk about on it. And I think it is so critical in this in this day and age as well. So think about that aspect as well, and any events that you guys have coming up that are supporting the center. We'd love to have that on our show to promote it.
Fantastic.
But one rule: you'll have
Always
to bring
puppies.
100%. Well, or
No cockroaches. Don't you dare.
it depends. We're gonna surprise.
No, we're not.
How about a giant rabbit?
That's
Perfect.
beautiful.
You bring me a rat. You bring me a rabbit. You bring me anything else.
I
Absolutely
brought
no
a goat. I
cockroaches.
brought a goat somewhere yesterday. So, you guys tell me what you want. I'm bringing it
the
in.
best job if you get to bring goats.
Yeah,
places.
exactly. We're going to do this. Jessica Girk and Barry Siegel, thank you so much for what you do, the passion you bring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's benefiting those wonderful animals, of course, but
Sure.
The humans as well. Can't thank you enough for doing this, and we're going to look forward to your next visit. How's that sound?
That sounds
can't
good.
wait.
Can I also thank Mission Federal because knowing about what they do for the community delights us, so that we can be a part of what they're doing and make sure people know that they care about a lot of things, but certainly they care about the animals.
Yeah,
So-
no, they are top shelf. We're honored to have them sponsor my Spotlight show, and it's interesting. It came to this point because one of their senior VPs and I have been good friends from the day he stepped in Mission Fed. Neville Villamoria often sits in as a co-host, and they've been doing great things ever since their inception, and they continue to do that, and they'll be doing this for 6 more decades.
They will. And also, I am actually a customer.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
am.
a big
Me
fan.
too, actually.
I am
Isn't
too.
that funny? Just coincidentally.
I am. No, I think it's very, very important. Jessica Girk and Barry Siegel, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Drew Schlosberg, Kristen Fogel, another fine job.
It squeaks.
Yeah, Hogan's playing with lamb chalk. And we hope everybody enjoyed the show. Thank you.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.